Surprise is another favorite. This is when everything changes for Buffy and Angel, which is so sad, but it's nice. Like, you see the closeness, obviously, because it's the first time that they have sex. And it's Buffy's birthday. I remember watching this episode the first time when it aired, and I was completely surprised that Angel changed into Angelus. But looking back now, when you're watching the episode so many times, you can see the build-up. And you could see that something bad was getting ready to happen. Bewitched, bothered, and bewildered. Like I said in the first review of Buffy's, I like the Xander-based episodes, and all the women of Sunnydale are in love with or really obsessed with Xander. It's funny, like I just noticed rewatching it this last time that they partly use the same music that they use in the Zeppo of Season 3, which is another one of my favorites, and I just thought it was kind of funny. Passion is another favorite. It's such a sad episode, but it's so good. It's narrated by Angel in the beginning, and in the end, he goes into Buffy's room at night, which is very creepy, but obviously he is still passionate about Buffy. I mean, he's still in love with her, but since he has no soul, he's like despised with the fact that he loves her, so he's obsessed with her, pretty much. And he draws her and her mom at night, which is really creepy. Sidebar for this episode, it's kind of funny that you see Jonathan and another random student come into the library and ask for books, because they always hang out in the library, and no student ever comes in there for any books, so it's kind of funny to see that actually happen. Back when I first watched this episode, I was surprised that they killed Jenny, but it does make sense that they needed to kill somebody important, but not important enough, like not like Xander or Willow. So it was really sad. That scene at Giles' apartment, it just breaks my heart every time I watch it. It hurts, but it's so good. Killed by Death is another good episode. Willie Garson guest stars as a security guard. And I like the fight scene in the beginning with Buffy and Angel, and he says, "Not feeling well, lover?" Needless to say, I love anytime Buffy and Angel are in a scene together. I mean, whether or not Angel is good, I just think they have such good chemistry. And both Buffy and Angel shows are better when the two of them are together. And now, lastly, my favorites are Becoming Part 1 and 2. Part 1, I believe this is the first time that we go back into Angel's past and we see how he became a vampire. We also see when he sired Drusilla. We also see when he got cursed with his soul and he moved to New York and he met Whistler there, who was a fun character. And then we also see he goes to LA and he sees Buffy receive the news that she's the Slayer and that he even, fell in love with her then. It's funny how every time we go to Angel's past, like before he was a vampire or when he first became a vampire, he has an Irish accent. And then, I guess, as the years progressed, he kind of lost it. Which is kind of funny, because Spike has always been English, even when it's his past, and now he's English. But for some reason, Angel loses his Irish accent. Also in this episode, Buffy and Willow come across Miss Calendar's disc, finally, with the cure to curse Angel's soul again. And Willow, this is like the start of Willow's dabble in magics herself. Kendra is back to help fight a dark power that her watchers sensed was coming. Angel wants to awaken the demon Akathla to send everyone in the world to hell, just for fun, because that's how Angelus is. And Buffy goes to meet Angel in the graveyard, and they fight, and blah blah blah, and then you realize that Angel was just trying to distract Buffy so they could kidnap Giles. And in the process, Willow gets knocked into a coma, Xander gets hurt, and Kendra dies. Drusilla kills her. And then that's where it ends, and part 2 begins, where the cops are accusing Buffy for murder because they come in as Buffy comes to the library. Obviously she's too late, and she's just in shock that Kendra's dead, and the cops come in and they arrest her. Buffy is walking through the streets and a cop comes and she's about to get arrested, and Spike comes in and beats the cop up for her because he wants to work with her. And obviously she's caught off guard and he tells her that he does not want to be sucked into this hell dimension, and he also wants Drew back for himself. So the two of them start working together to stop Angel. She invites Spike over to her house, and they have to end up telling her mom that she's the Slayer because a vampire was there, and so she had to slay a vampire right in front of her mom, and she has to explain the whole Slayer thing to her mom, which her mom does not take it very well, and they argue, but Buffy obviously has to go and save the world, so she has to leave, but her mom says, if you leave, don't think you can come back. So that kind of sucks. Then Buffy goes to the school to get that sword, and then Principal Snyder is there, tells her that she's expelled, and then she goes to fight Angel. But back at the mansion, Drew has hypnotized Giles to tell her how to perform the ritual correctly, and then Angel does it, and Buffy shows up, and they start fighting, have this whole cool sword fighting scene. Willow wakes up from her coma, and she decides to try the curse again, and she succeeds, and it's like in the last 5 minutes of the episode where you see him turn back into Angel, and Buffy is like cut off guard and is happy to see him, obviously, and hugs him and kisses him, and then that mouth of a Kafla opens, and she has to kill him, closing the portal to the Hell Dimension, which, it's quite sad, and I cry every time I watch that because he's Angel again, and he has no idea what has happened the last few months as Angelus, which obviously later then he'll realize it in his Hell Dimension. Buffy decides to leave Sunnydale because, well, she had to kill the man that she loved, and her mom kicked her out, and she was expelled from school, and there's no way that her friends would understand, so she takes the bus out of there. It is such a good season. Like I said, almost every single episode is a favorite, and it's not like that for the whole series. There's only 2 seasons that it's pretty much every episode is a favorite. I love that you see the development of Angel's character, because in the first season, in the first half of season 2, like, yes, he's good, and yes, you love him for being good, but once he turns into Angelus, it's like he's free, and he's just so badass, and he's so good at being evil. Like, he's just almost more sexy as evil than as good. But it's David Boreanaz. He's always sexy. I also love how we see Willow getting into the magics, because, like I said, it's so big later on in the series, and she becomes so powerful that it's weird to see her not already like that. But all in all, definite favorite of mine. That's it for this review for Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 2 on AnjuliTV. I'm Anjuli Velazquez. Stay tuned for Buffy Season 3, and I'll see you next time.